Beloved, before we talk about interdimensional you, we talked about how there is the focus, a wonderful focus on this reality and individuality that you see yourself to be a focus on one dimension of reality. And we talk about how you are also expressing and experiencing in other dimensions. We talked also that you are experiencing and expressing in different dimensions that do not even know the time in a reality of no time, where the concept of the past, the present and the future does not exist, because there is only the present, only the being creator. We talked about how you, as the individual energy that you see yourself being, came wholeness, interdimensionality you, the totality that is not focused on any size or in any reality, with our small. We talk about how wonderful you are, as an extension of all that the Father/Mother, Source is, and how you attract the power to experience any size of space you interdimensional. This is really where you live in the space between dimensions. You are believed to be having a dimensional experience. You are in a certain reality, with our small, and you prepared a script where there will be a collective consciousness, there will be the concept of time, there will be the concept of space, the concept of the physical world, and there will be those who they agree with the laws that govern the physical world. Now, in fact, you are beyond physicality. You are the one who is determining moment to moment what the physical world and means that all the laws mean physical. You are one in a collective mind that you agree, moment to moment, there will be such a thing as gravity, and you agree that, because of gravity, there will be a certain weight that will keep you on the ground. You also decreed that sometimes will know weightlessness, you know not to gravity, and decree what the rules and regulations that decree not gravity. You felt governed by laws and rules to the point where said he has no power over these laws, that you are a victim, governed by all the laws of the physical world. And yet, you are the ones that collectively enacted which would be the parameters. This reality where you are is a dimension of reality based on a collective belief in duality. Everything has either side. There are good and not good. There is light, there is darkness. Everything has an opposite. This is a reality that is based on collective belief in duality, and yet, what you are seeking to know is your all, your unit. It is the most miraculous and wonderful thing you do as a bridge person, because you know as well as being in this reality, it's not always comfortable, but you know well what the rules and laws, even the should and should not arbitrary contemporary society, but you also not content to stay in this place. You read. You argue. You think. You meditate. You allow yourself to dream. You allow yourself to go beyond what has been the habitual thinking and leaves a bit of cash. Even while you were reading this, you've been coming in and out of this dimension of reality, because while I'm telling you, you focus on what I am saying, but you can see an idea and you go out for a millisecond for the new idea. You come and go, although it seems to be a continuum focus on this reality. You think the ideas, the concepts of what we are talking, and there is a glimpse of the expanded reality, even if you say you're attending the message on an ongoing basis. While we are talking about interdimensional consciousness, there is a focus on what you do in this reality at this time, this here and now, but there is also a part of you that is the viewer. Have you ever experienced the observer? Do you ever feel sometimes be somewhat removed from what was happening? Have you ever felt being in a conversation with someone, and yet there was a part of you that was next to the shoulder and was watching everything that was going on? When you are in space observer, you are allowing yourself to expand awareness for you interdimensional. Now the observer is not you interdimensional, but it's a step in the process of knowing the interdimensional entirety. When you are overwhelmed by a sense of peace that does not make sense of the world, this is your observer, yourself expanding, beckoning you to stay in this area of peace and allow the rest of the activity is what needs to be. You experienced interdimensional consciousness, and your contract so far was that you would focus on this reality and this dimension. His agreement was by divine arrangement, with a divine purpose. It was not a mistake. It was to fulfill a divine purpose and intimate knowledge of this dimension and this reality and know the conclusion to her. You and the brothers and sisters, collectively, with whom you now shares this reality, agreed that you would focus more closely on certain reality, as far as you know how to experience all the parameters of reality. I know how to be happy. I know how to be sad. I know how to be on top of the mountain. I know how to love and be loved. I know how it is, as I see, outside of love. And I am full with the belief in duality. You decreed that would focus more closely on this reality, and yet, all the time, the little voice was whispering, remember, this too shall pass. Remember, you are more than what was believed to be. Remember and hope. Have you heard the small voice of hope? Of course yes. You agreed to meet the scale and know intimately. You know all the laws of the physical world. You will know how to enable fusion energy of light known as a body. You will know how to enable various forms of bodies, not only the human body, but all forms of life, and you will come to the space to meet your oneness with all life and all its forms. For in truth, you are all forms of life you can imagine or think, and it is time now you can begin to cultivate the memory and consciousness again, unity with all life. In the process of awakening that is happening now is the time, and it is imperative that you practice the expansion of consciousness beyond the individuality that you saw being. You're the one who agreed to be the bridge person. You are the one who is remembering now that agreed to be the light, even in the darkness of oblivion that is still on this plane, in this reality. In your agreement, you said there will be a time when you expand the consciousness beyond individuality. This is now. This is why you feel such a motivation in itself to read, to study, to discuss, to contemplate, to seek, to want to know more. You said in the process of awakening, there will be a time when I know I'm much more than the body, much more than the personality that I found myself to be, and yet, I cannot always be happy with this. There will be a moment, and this is now, that I begin to expand my awareness to know interdimensionality, my reality. I will know and will touch the space, the matrix, my totality, the extent of the Father. When you reach the full understanding that the matrix of you, your dimensionality that is not focused on a dimension or reality, when you come to the realization that I and the Father are one. I am an extension of the Father, when you come to understand that the matrix from which you run and shapes everything you experience is the totality of the Father, you become. You cannot look at the events in your world, in your life, the same way. For indeed, you get to look at all the activities of the world, all your experiences, through the Father's eyes. Then comes the understanding that I am so loved by my Father ever I left, He never left. In fact, I cannot because I am an extension of the Father. In my interdimensionality, I know my unit with the Father. I am the Christ. Now, as you begin to expand awareness for your interdimensionality, breathe. Allow expansion of body, mind and soul that comes with a deep breath. If you are in a matter of space, breathe. Remember, if you discipline yourself, do it. This requires a little discipline, because you have to choose. Now, you know that when you breathe, you will have the opportunity of peace, and you do not always want to choose peace. Let's be honest here. Sometimes you want to live in the drama for some time. But when you choose to breathe, then you have the opportunity to experience a moment of peace, a time of expansion. Breathe now. Take a deep breath. Feel the peace that comes with breathing. So breathe again. Although there may be many concerns, decisions need to be taken, allow them to be removed at the time of breath, and breathe again. Feel the expansion that happens even in the body. Feel the cells themselves to expand and talk to you in gratitude because you are allowing them to breathe, allowing them to be at peace with themselves. All the world's concerns will be there waiting for you whenever you choose to come back and retrieve them. But if you choose to live in peace breath, they will not have power over you. They will wait until you give attention to them, and if you choose not to pay attention to them, they will have to keep waiting, and you can breathe more and more, the space of just being, to the deep peace space, peace cure. If the body is giving you a constriction message known as a disease, you can inspire her health. For when you breathe and allow to live in peace, after some time there will be a comic idea. She just come and enjoy the soul. It is a space where you feel a little joy bubbling, a joy that the world does not know, and it will heal the body if you allow yourself to stay in this space. Breathe, loved. Breathe and come home.